Hello, I'm Ed Dean and I have the honor of being the Sheriff of Marion County. Today's presentation is being brought to you by the Marion County Sheriff's Office, and it's called It's Your Sheriff's Office, because truly, you the citizens are the focus of everything we do. I hope you will enjoy today's presentation and you will be able to learn more about how we at the Sheriff's Office can help you to have a better quality of life in Marion County. Thank you.
When criminals and fugitives are in places that cannot be reached with a helicopter or can't be picked up with the infrared system, the Sheriff's Office utilizes the natural ability of the German Shepherds in the K9 unit.
The nose is 1,000 times stronger than a human nose.
With their strong sense of smell, these dogs have the ability to accurately track fugitives on the run, sniff out drugs or other paraphernalia, find explosive devices, even locate bodies buried underground. This gives the Marion County Sheriff's Office a distinctive advantage when fighting crime.
For example, when you take a dog into a pizza, like a Pizza Hut, the nose actually breaks down all the different ingredients, compared to like when you would walk in and you would smell a pizza. And using that sense, we can actually distinguish drugs from cigarettes to any other kind of odor.
It's that advantage that's made Deputy Collins a believer. Collins has worked alongside his K9 partner Chambers for several years now and is just one of 9 officers at the Marion County Sheriff's Office that travel around with these dogs on a daily basis.
The K9 is another officer at all times.
Deputy Collins has experienced firsthand the importance of these dogs and what they bring to law enforcement.
So if I get into an altercation with somebody on the side of the road and it's just me and him, I can remotely pop Chamber out of the car and he can actually join in the fight and actually, he could save my life.
After 5 months of training totaling almost over 500 hours, the K9 and the handler are ready to work together.
And we do train daily with the dogs, and that's ultimately what they want to do, is work and play. They think it's a big game, and that's how you get them to be successful.
Every search the K9's trained to do, whether it's cadaver, article searches, or drugs, it's basically just a game to the dog. And these animals are trained to win at all costs.
The dog, their main strength when we actually apprehend somebody is the pressure that they put on somebody. Everybody sees the dog's teeth and they can see what kind of damage the dog can do to somebody, but that's not really the main focus. When the dog actually bites somebody, it puts so much pressure. It's like a gator's mouth. They put that much pressure on somebody.
There are times when the bad guy has received a more severe injury because he was trying to fight the dog off, but that just makes the dog bite even harder. Before the officer will call the dog off of an engagement, the bad guy has to be still.
Bad man, stand still!
Sergeant Turner, who has been working with his partner, Mr. Sam, for the past 4 years, he understands the significance of introducing the K9 unit into a situation.
If you, as a last resort, do not comply and not listen to the commands that are given, and the dog is sent and he is apprehends you, you will be arrested. Per our protocol, you're going to get treated at the hospital, whether it's a minor injury or it might be a little more extensive than others. Whether it's a tetanus shot, you're going to get reviewed by the doctor. Then once you're cleared, you will go to the Marion County Jail.
These K9 teams bring an entirely new dimension to law enforcement on the ground. If a bad guy's trying to flee, these dogs can make up for lost time with their lightning fast speed.
K9s are they're well developed to be a strong tool in law enforcement. He has 4 legs versus 2 legs of a human, greater sense of smell, hearing, and he has just a stronger drive to work and to please his handler. I mean, they want to work every day. They don't believe in vacation. They just want to get out there and get the job and go at it full speed.
Dogs with their instinctive approach are an invaluable addition to law enforcement.
No matter how far we've gone with technology and law enforcement, this is one of the most primitive tools as far as using the dog's natural ability to help find us, whether it's a lost child or an elderly person with Alzheimer's or even a suspect.
In Marion County, there are 9 canine teams, all trained in apprehension and protection. Everything about these dogs, from their pedigree to their temperament to their agility, is taken into consideration before they purchase them.
Some of the other agencies use, different breeds to do different things, but for us in the community that we serve, the German Shepherds are the most rounded dogs, and we can do the most with them. So we feel, for the money that we invest in these dogs, that these are the best breed for us to use.
These dogs typically come from a foreign country, usually Germany or another European nation. If you listen closely to the officer interacting with his dog, the language you hear is not English.
We like to use their native tongue, their native language, so it's more comfortable for them. He's a German Shepherd. He's from Czech. His commands are in German. The commands that we give him, we have a sit command, a heel command, a down command, and all those commands we can tell him in German. And the other command is when we actually have to send him to apprehend somebody. That's also in a German command. And a couple reasons for that. One is being that we don't want a bad guy to say, the dog was biting me and we were telling him to bite him. We actually give him a command, and no one else knows what that command is except for I and the dog. So with that being done, no one else can send my dog on somebody.
The dogs in the canine unit must constantly be stimulated in their work, or as they see it, play.
Once they get used to something, they get bored with it. So you have to change it up, and you have to do different things, and you have to add the commands that you give him into a different situation or different areas.
By training with the dogs daily, not only do the officers improve their relationship with their dog, but the canines are constantly stimulated and remain interested in what they do. But most of the bonding time comes directly from the time spent with the canine adapted vehicles.
Sheriff's Canine, you're under arrest. Better stop or release
The vehicles that we use have been specially outfitted through a business in Perry, Florida. There's a dog kennel that's built in the back seat of the car. The back seat is actually removed, and the kennel is made out of aluminum. It's a real nice setup. There's a nice rubber mat. There's a water bowl that's mounted in there.
Cars are equipped with an alarm system that allows the dogs to remain in the car unattended for short periods of time. If anything were to happen, such as the car powering down, an alarm would sound off and the officer would be notified. If at any time when the dog is in the car and the alarm sounds, the officer is able to immediately respond to make sure that his partner is okay. These cars are equipped with everything we feel is necessary for the dog's comfort, security, and easy access for exiting. As long as the canines are comfortable with their environment, we are able to use them for their full potential.
You reflect back on and say, there's no doubt that the canine partner made the difference and was the overall reason for the success of the situation. So you bond with each other. He comes to trust you and you trust him, and that's what we formed a bond.
Perhaps the greatest advantage to having these dogs on the streets with our officers is their uncanny ability to protect their master in a crisis situation. In fact, our officers are safer and have become more effective as a result of this crime-fighting partnership between man and dog.
People join gangs every day for a sense of belonging, attention, excitement, or even financial gain, but many don't realize the consequences of gang involvement.
Parents should talk with their children about gang activity and watch for signs of gang association, such as a decline in grades, truancy, or graffiti. Other signs may include symbols on clothing, wearing colors, types of jewelry, and photographs with other members.
To report graffiti or gang-related crimes, call Crime Stoppers at 368-STOP or visit MarionSO.com. Creeping is a new term used to describe someone who walks through communities looking for a vehicle which was simply left unlocked. If they pull the handle and it opens, then they help themselves to any valuables left inside, such as money, laptops, or other electronic devices.
Never leave your car unlocked, and if you're one of those who can fit a car in your garage, it's even safer. This message is brought to you by Crime Stoppers of Marion County and this station. Television and video games portray guns as toys with no real consequence. Nothing could be further from the truth. Most gunshot injuries occur after kids discover loaded guns at home. If you discover a gun under any circumstances, please do the following. Stop, don't touch it, leave the room, and tell an adult. A real gun is never a toy, and life is not a video game. This message brought to you by the Crime Stoppers of Marion County and this station.
Domestic violence can begin with one angry word that changes lives forever. One battering episode builds on past episodes and sets the stage for disaster. A woman is beaten every 15 seconds, and domestic violence is the leading cause of injury to women between the ages of 15 and 44. If you're a victim, say something. It may save your life. This message is brought to you by the Crime Stoppers of Marion County and this station.
When a bad situation becomes a crisis situation, the Sheriff's Office has a highly trained group of officers who respond. They're called the SWAT team, and they come together to serve citizens of Marion County during the most dangerous and critical times of need.
Sheriff's office, show your hands, show your hands! Sheriff's office, sheriff's office, sheriff's office, sheriff's office, come ground, come ground!
SWAT responds to different scenarios.
Our SWAT team consists of 20 members along with 2 logistics officers. These fearless men take on the responsibility of protecting Marion County citizens when situations require more than what regular patrol can handle.
Hostage situations, we also respond to barricaded subjects, suicidal subjects that may be held up in a house, and regular patrol cannot respond to these type of situations because the type of equipment that's involved. We have a lot more better equipment, we're better prepared and better trained for those type of situations.
Assistant Commander Lieutenant Fred Chisholm has been with the SWAT team since 2005. He and the other members are trained to respond at a moment's notice to a variety of dangerous situations.
When SWAT is called, there's 2 different scenarios that SWAT will react. One is being dynamic, and one being deliberate. Deliberate means the entry is slow and methodical. Dynamic means that we have to get there quick, fast.
Knowing what kind of situation the SWAT team will be called into is impossible, so the men vigorously train for both deliberate and dynamic situations on a monthly basis. In the end, preparation is key.
Right now, the SWAT trains 1 8-hour day per month and additional 4 hours a day. We have the obstacle course, which was built approximately 2 years ago. We have the 25-foot rope climb. We have a attic that the officer also has to climb into. We have the 8-foot wall climb. We also have what we call an A-frame. It's approximately 40 feet in the air, which we climb over. We have what we call a traverse, a metal pole traverse. We also have a cargo net, which is about 20 feet in the air, which the guys all have to maneuver over that as well. We have what we call our fireman's pole, which the officers all climb up that and they slide down what we call a pole of life.
At first glance, this course might look like fun, but in reality, it's intense. The obstacles are designed specifically to wear the officer down, requiring not only physical strength, but mental toughness to complete the course. These officers must overcome fatigue and still finish the job.
One of the many situations that SWAT has come to prepare for is a bus clearing.
We'll use the school bus clearing in an event. There may be a hostage taker on a school bus. We'll make entry and clear the bus.
Sheriff's office, hands up! Sheriff's office, hands up!
We would also use that type of entry when we are have some type of terrorist incident and we want to get on the bus and try to locate and eliminate or remove the subject from the that particular incident. When the SWAT team enters a bus, to clear a bus, the first thing we need to do, we go on the bus to set up what we call security, left and right on each row of seats. From that point, we send in 2 other guys after that, and they'll go down the lane, clearing, telling everybody to either put their hands up or put their hands down. They want to make sure that, we're clearing as methodically as possible, and try to eliminate any threats.
These men also train for home and building intrusions. This begins with a routine briefing of the situation, followed by a drive-by in this vehicle of the location so that the officers can see firsthand just what they're dealing with.
We also gather intelligence as far as how many people live in the house, how many kids, women, men. Are there any weapons? We'll try to do a background check of any people who reside at the location.
Building entries require a lot of concentration, and the team tries to gain as much information as possible, making sure that they go in with the advantage. Although the SWAT team has a main goal of apprehending the suspects and controlling the situation, there are various parts of each building entry.
Each team has a particular function. For instance, the door breacher, his particular job is to get the door open. The shield man, his particular job is to protect the team from any rounds that may come from within the residence. We have a team leader. His job is to control the team and to also direct the team. So if something goes wrong, so he has to come up with a quick plan how to maneuver out of harm's way.
From that point, the SWAT team moves in to begin clearing the house room by room. Suspects are then apprehended and taken to jail.
And at that point, the scenario or the incident is turned over to either the case agent who's in charge. It could be a drug agent, could be a major crimes detective, and it's turned over to them at that point. And at that point, the SWAT team is removed from the situation, and we go back and we do what we call a debrief.
Marijuana grow houses look just like any home in your neighborhood, except for these modifications. The windows are boarded up or covered with condensation on them. Strange odors or constant electrical humming coming from the house. Residents are rarely home and visitors come at odd hours. If you suspect drug activity in your community, call 911. This message is brought to you by Crime Stoppers of Marion County and this station. Do you have a teen driver? How comfortable are you with your teen's driving skills?
In fact, the #1 killer of teenagers in the United States is automobile crashes.
Now there's a program sponsored by the Florida Sheriff's Association to help young drivers.
We're teaming up for the Teen Drivers Challenge. It's a 12-hour course designed to teach young drivers crash avoidance and safe driver techniques.
For more information about this free, life-changing opportunity, please call 369-6760 or visit marionso.com. Riding in a car seat can be a lullaby for babies to fall asleep, and because of airbags, we now place the car seats in the back seat, sometimes to be forgotten. Never leave a child unattended in a vehicle, not even for a minute. Keep a stuffed animal in the car seat, and when the child is put in the seat, place the animal in the front seat as a reminder. This message brought to you by Crime Stoppers of Marion County and this station.
Now more than ever, citizens need to protect themselves against home burglaries. Make it time-consuming for burglars to break into your home with deadbolts on exterior doors and additional locks on windows and patio doors. Other tips may include motion-sensitive lighting outside your home, leaving a radio or TV on to make some noise, or consider putting in an alarm system. This message is brought to you by Crime Stoppers of Marion County and this station.
When a crisis situation escalates beyond the control of officers on the ground, we look to the sky for help from the Sheriff's Aviation Unit. If our officers on the ground ever get involved in a high-speed chase, our aviation unit's able to scramble within minutes. At this point, it's virtually impossible for the bad guy to get away.
An area such as this school It may take us 2 or 3 hours to search these grounds, whether it's for a suspect search or a missing person. With the aircraft, we can do it in a matter of about 10 minutes.
He's getting in front of me. He's leaving and out of track.
The new thermal imaging technology gives our aviation team the power of night vision. So when criminals try to flee in the middle of the night, we can still track them down from the sky.
If you can picture going into a closet at night and shutting the door, no lights in it, it's pitch black. These two pieces of equipment take the smallest particle of light, i.e. in the night vision goggles, and gives us a daytime view. And you got to imagine at 500, 600 foot how far we can see in a circumference around us. Then you add the FLIR on top of it, which is nothing but working off heat. Thermal imaging is all it is. As you stand here right now, you're putting off heat. And if you can imagine when you go out running, you get hotter, or you get excited, scared, everything goes up and your heat goes up, and what we actually see is a bright green glow. And this person's running across this field in the pitch black and thinks that we can't see them. We're looking at them, and all we're doing is directing our ground folks into them to converge on them.
Lieutenant Neil Dixon has been flying the helicopter for the Marion County Sheriff's Office for years, so he knows how important his job is when it comes to helping officers on the ground.
Absolutely. We get to a chase, the whole chase becomes ours. When I say ours, we take over all radio communications. 80–90% of the time, we'll actually back our patrol units off. We'll cut off their lights and signs, slow them
We should
down,
be coming up to them in
get the
about
bad
20
guy to
seconds.
slow down.
The chopper doesn't just fly when officers need help locating a criminal. We also use it for preventative measures to target specific areas of the county where crime is most likely to occur. It's all based on data. We found that the presence of the chopper in the sky is often enough to deter most criminals before they even commit a crime.
We do what we call directed patrol. The detective bureaus, patrol deputies, district commanders, they all have the option of saying, I'm having a problem in this area, whether it's prowlers at night, burglaries at night, commercial burglaries at night, whatever they're having a problem area in, all they do is they fill out a form that we have on our computer system, send it to us, and our crews take the time frames that these events are occurring, and we fly those areas during that time frame.
4995, we're at 315 with stop state.
Once the helicopter's in the air, advanced technology is used to communicate with officers on the ground. Lieutenant Dixon uses this high-tech mapping system to find locations quickly and with pinpoint accuracy.
In here, right here underneath this monitor is a keyboard, and it's attached to a computer just like your home computer. The good part about this system of it is it operates off the geodata system here in this Marion County.
4995 at 315.
The advantage for us with that is a lot of times we can beat, in the remote areas of the county, we can beat the officers to the scene by 5 or 6 minutes sometimes. Right now, with the way it's equipped, we get about 90 to 100 miles an hour, which is good because there's no stop signs or stop lights or anything like that we have to worry about. So we can cover this county pretty quick.
He's stopping at 315.
We're stopping at 315, station will be 1033.
Right now, under the FAA regulations, the Federal Aviation Administration, they require 40 hours minimum training just to fly a helicopter, to get a private pilot's license. Commercially, which means you can fly for money, requires 150 hours. The Sheriff's Office, we require that you have at least 500 hours of flight training, complete an in-house training program, and meet all of our specifications that we've established. And then we send you through a flight check once a year that keeps proficiency. And any of those standards that are deviated from or missed, then we give you more training to get you back up to speed. These particular aircraft, we attained them from the military back in the early 90s. They already had a program established, and we stayed with that program. We do a 25-hour inspection, a 50-hour inspection, a 100-hour inspection, and a 300-hour inspection. Now, everybody's like, wow, what do you mean by that? Well, every 25 hours, this aircraft gets inspected by our maintenance technician. The 300-hour inspection, which we have an aircraft in right now, takes about 2.5 weeks because we completely tear it apart, inspect the whole frame, everything up, put it back together, and put it back into service.
The aviation unit is an invaluable tool that makes it virtually impossible for criminals to get away. It's just one more way we all work together to keep you safe. That's all for this episode of It's Your Sheriff's Office. On behalf of Sheriff Ed Dean and all of us here at the Marion County Sheriff's Office, thanks for watching.
911, what's your emergency?
10-4. Your chances of being struck by lightning are 1 in 3,000 in your lifetime. If you find yourself in a storm, avoid open areas and do not stand under trees, and do not stand in water which transmits an electrical current. It is always best to seek shelter during a storm. This message has been brought to you by the Marion County Sheriff's Office and this station.
Due to threats of a terrorist attack in the United States, pre-planning is the key to preparedness. If you see surveillance or casing of a location, suspicious package, or unusual and unattended vehicles parked near a certain location, you should call 911. If you think something's not right, call and let us investigate it. This message is brought to you by the Marion County Sheriff's Office and this station.
Children have a built-in trust which makes them vulnerable. Educate your kids about using 911 and knowing their name, address, and telephone number. If your child is separated from you, teach them to stay in a populated area and never use a public restroom alone. This message was brought to you by the Marion County Sheriff's Office and this station.
The holiday shopping season is a stressful time of year. Avoid shopping alone and at night, and resist parking next to large vehicles. Don't load yourself down with a lot of packages, and have your keys in hand. If you see anything suspicious, go back inside and ask for an escort. This message is brought to you by the Marion County Sheriff's Office and this station.
Using an ATM is a convenient way of getting cash, and criminals know it. When using ATMs, be aware of your surroundings and walk with confidence. Do not wear expensive jewelry or take other valuables with you. Use an ATM that is well lit and watch for people in parked cars close by. If confronted by somebody with a weapon demanding your money and valuables, comply. This message has been brought to you by the Marion County Sheriff's Office and this station.
When boating in Marion County's waterways, keep safety in mind. Have the proper equipment such as flotation devices, a horn or whistle, and a fire extinguisher. Watch for other watercraft. Remember, children under 6 are required to wear a personal flotation device.
This message is brought to you by the Marion County Sheriff's Office and this station.
When you hear a siren and you see flashing lights, move to the right. Pull to the right side safely but quickly. Do not panic or pull into the intersection on a red light, and do not stop in the middle of the intersection. Help to ensure everyone's safety in an emergency situation by moving aside when you hear sirens and see flashing lights. This message is brought to you by the Marion County Sheriff's Office and this station.